Good morning, investor and corporate. Welcome to Digital Roadshow Year's End 2024 Performance Review. This session will run about 45 minutes, including Q&A. Company will start the session by 30-minute presentation, followed by 15-minute Q&A. During Q&A, investor may leave your question in meeting room chat box or use raise your hand function. We will open your microphone so you can ask the question to the company directly. May I now invite THORESEN Thai Agency Public Company Limited to start the presentation.
Good morning, all investor. Today you are here with THORESEN Thai Agency Public Company Limited, the year end 2024 Digital Roadshow. Today the management who here with us are คุณคทารัตน์ สุขแสวง our group CFO.
Good morning ครับ
ค่ะ คุณอัจฉริยะ อังสุธรรม Treasury and Investor Relation Director.
สวัสดีค่ะ
คุณวุฒิชัย คุปรุจิวงศ์ Consolidation and Business Analysis Performance Associate Director.
สวัสดีครับ
And you are here with me, Vipada Sayapon, Investor Relation Manager. I will start the presentation. Today, our presentation are company overview, financial performance, market outlook, and we'll end the session with the Q&A. For the company overview, THORESEN Thai Agency, our group has established since 1904, over 100 years ago, and we are listed in SET since 1995. Our main business is shipping, which is ranked in top 3 in the TCE in 2023, and is the only company listed in top 5 for the 6 consecutive years by the survey of all the listed dry bulk company in the world. Our global presence has more than 10 countries and in 3 continentals. Our main shareholder is Mahakisiri family, holding about 37.3% of the company share. As I mentioned that we are listed in SET, and we also received the SET ESG rating of AA for the 2 consecutive years. Indicate our concern of the environment and social and governance. Recently in September 2024, we have received the TRIS rating maintained at BBB+ with the stable outlook. For our investment portfolio, we have 5 main segments, which are shipping, which we hold 100%. In this year, 2024, total revenue of TTA is 32,206 million baht, which is 21% from shipping. Secondly is offshore service, which is a Mermaid Maritime listed in Singapore, contribute about 57% of our revenue. Followed by the third one, agrochemical, which is PMTA listed in Thailand stock market, and the main business is in Vietnam, selling fertilizer, pesticide, and they also have a factory area management, contribute about 12% of the revenue in this year. And the fourth one is food and beverage. We have Pizza Hut and Taco Bell, which is contribute 7% of the total revenue. Lastly, in other investment, which are port management, water management, which is AIM, Barrier is the port management, UMS doing the coal distribution and transportation, we holding 96%, and Skuta doing the service delivery on demand, EV motorcycle. We also have a EV truck, and we also holding 16% in Verula Energy, which is a listed company in Canada, doing the oil and gas business in Gulf of Thailand. Overall contribute about 3% of our revenue. Our EBITDA in this year is 4,340 million baht, which mainly from shipping and offshore service. Next is the company financial performance. I would like to invite Kun Achariya to continue with this session ค่ะ
Hi, good morning, investors. So I begin with the financial highlight. In year 2024, the company reported a net profit 1.3 billion, and mainly is driven from two business segments, which are the shipping segment and the offshore service segment. Start with the shipping segment. The TCE rate we reported at $14,467 per day, exceeding the net market rate by 12%. While we still maintain the low OPEX at 4,324 per day, which is 70% more efficient or lower than the industry. The shipping segment reported net profit to TTA 1.8 billion, which is continue to contribute a strong net profit from this segment. For the offshore services, we have a very strong order book at $787 million US dollars, and the 449 million is to be delivered within the year 2025. For the net profit to TTA, 278 million baht is driven increasing the revenue from all the service segment. And for the agrochemical, total sales volume is 175k ton, increased 3% Y-on-Y, driven from the strong domestic demand in Vietnam. At last, agrochemical reported net profit to TTA around 103 million baht, increased 159% compared to the last year. To the next page, show the summary of the financial highlights in revenue, gross profit, EBITDA. So the revenue that, as I mentioned, the company report the total revenue at 32 billion baht, increased 34% compared to last year, mainly driven from the revenue increase from offshore service segment. That we have the new project, which is called decommissioning and TNI project to one of the main oil and gas provider in Thailand. Due to the higher revenue, our gross profit also increased 14% compared to last year, and EBITDA also increased in line with the gross profit. Besides the realized and unrealized FX loss, about 252 million baht, we have the non-recurring gain to TTA about 136 million baht, mainly from the reverse of vessel impairment, which is like a one-time transaction in the offshore service segment. So at last, net profit will report at 1.3 billion baht, which increased 9% from last year. Look at the financial position. The total asset still strong. We report at 50 billion baht, increased 12% from last year. It represents a strong cash because we still have like 8.5 billion under the cash of our management. And within the total asset, it increased 1.5 billion that I like to mention here was the asset held for sale that recognized due to the investment, remeasurement, and restatement. And the restatement will occur from the period 2020 to 2023. The sale of this investment is expected to generate the cash flow in the year 2025. For the total liability increase 23% from last year, mainly is from our debenture issuance and the trade payable. For the interest-bearing debt is amounting to 12 billion, which is 70% of the IBD or the interest-bearing debt were from the debenture issuance. Total equity also increased 6%, mainly from the net profit we generate during the year. So back to the restatement of the investment that I mentioned earlier, this lead to the increase in retained earning, which is will lead to a higher in equity as well. So this will strengthen our financial position in terms of debt to equity ratios, and also will provide a stronger cash flow that we will receive from the sale of investment in the year 2025. Just a snapshot of the key ratios. As I show you here, that because we generate a higher profit, so the book value increased to 15.6 baht. And also we maintain a low both IBDE and DE ratios compared to the industry. The DE in set is around 1.19, but we maintain the DE ratio at 0.57 times only. And our net, the IBDE is stood at 0.09, which is a very low. We also have a strong positive cash flow generating from operating activity, about 2.5 billion. And the investment we made through the year is around 3.9 billion. So we have to attain additional fund from the financing activity. The net amount is 1.35 billion. So let's go through performance of each key business segment, starting from the shipping. As I mentioned, that we maintain overperform over the market. At the TCE rate we achieved is $14,467 with a high utilization rate. So the net TCE that I mentioned is about 12% over the market, and 14,467 comprised of from the own fleet net TCE around 14,399, and plus the gain from the charter in vessel of $68 per day. And the own fleet continue to have high utilization at 99%. For the OPEC as well, we maintain below the industry, about 17%. Our break-even remain low at $8,364 per day, leading to the net profit margin at 42%. So at the end of the year, the shipping segment owned 24 vessels, mainly from 22 of Supramax vessels and 2 of the Ultramax. The total average size was 55,913 deadweight ton, which is still below compared to our benchmark 58K index. We are below the weight by 3.6%. The average age of all the vessels are 16.7 years. If you go through a snapshot of financial performance of shipping segment, so the shipping revenue was 6.7 billion baht, a little bit declined compared to last year due to the lower equivalent number of charter in vessel. But although that we have lower number of charter in vessel, we still manage to have the gain from this sector. So the net TCE rate average was 14,467 per day, increased 6% Y-on-Y, and continue to overperform the market by 12%. The gross profit also increased 10% Y-on-Y to 2.7 billion. In line with the EBITDA was reported at 2.5 billion, increased 12%. The shipping segment overall delivered net profit to TTA of about 1.8 billion, which increased 20% Y-on-Y. Next, another key of our business segment is offshore services. As I mentioned that this 2024 decommissioning T&I project contribute to the significant revenue growth. You can see that from the graph of the green graph here represent a big jump in terms of revenue. Decommissioning, as you can see in the green, is contribute 52% of the revenue, while the second highest will be subsea RIM, followed by the cable lay, which account 36% and 12% respectively. For decommissioning, you can see from the graph jump from 2.8 billion to 9.5 billion baht. While the subsea RIM, the increase of the revenue is about 20%. And the cable lay also increased a lot, like 54% compared to last year. Give you through the financial performance of the offshore service segment. It continued to deliver net profit to TTA at 278 million baht. So the revenue was recorded at 18 billion baht, represent a higher of all business segment, including decommissioning T&I, cable lay, and subsea RIM. The revenue increase is about 88% growth compared to last year. Gross profit increased 13% compared to last year to about 2 billion, with the gross profit margin decreased from 19% to 11%. This is because that I mentioned about the new big project, which is decommissioning and T&I. This project is our first project, so we expect the gross profit margin to improve in 2025 onward. However, this project is only require working capital and not significant or long-term investment. The EBITDA was still stable Y-on-Y at 1.3 billion baht. There was a gain, as I mentioned earlier, that one-time non-recurring about 337 million baht. This is from the reversal of vessel impairment due to the higher utilization and day rate that we increased. So this is supported by our market value of the vessel also exceed the book value. Offshore segment continued to report net profit to 491 million baht, increased to 42% Y-on-Y, but the net profit to TTA is amounting to 278 million baht, increased 39% Y-on-Y. Moving to the last key business segment, which is agrochemical. The total fertilizer sale volume was at 174K ton, increased 3% Y-on-Y. Mainly is because the domestic fertilizer sales is accounting to 87% of total sale volume. If you compare to last year, the last year was about 82%. So export fertilizer maybe decreased a little bit to 22% Y-on-Y to 23.5K ton. The single fertilizer sales remain decreased a little bit, 23% Y-on-Y due to the stock clearance in 2023, while the NPK fertilizer maintained to be increased 12% Y-on-Y to 142 ton, mainly from the increased domestic demand volume. For the factory area management, we actually achieved full occupancy, and there was increase in activity. So the revenue grew 15% Y-on-Y to about 126 million baht. Give you a snapshot again for the agrochemical segment. This segment delivered net profit to TTA of 103 million baht in 2024. So the revenue increased 2% Y-on-Y, along with the fertilizer sale volume that increased percent. and the gross profit that we 12% to 16%. So which is remarkable improve in terms of gross profit margin. EBITDA was reported 304 million, increasing 50% Y-on-Y. So overall, agrochemical deliver net profit to TTA at 103 million baht, increasing 159% compared to last. Just to give you another perspective on the food and beverage, another business segment, which is our investment. For the food and beverage, we have two brands, Pizza Hut and Taco Bell. At the end of the year, Pizza Hut have 137 branches and 59 in Bangkok, branch in Bangkok. While Taco Bell, we have 33 outlets nationwide. For the investment, another one that is worth to mention is the company called AIM, which TTA hold a share about 92% in this company. So the company export and provide services in terms of water plant and focus on water loss management. Recently, the company is awarded to sell the tap water in 2 countries, first in Luang Prabang and another one is Vai Lieng in Cambodia. Next, I'd like to invite Khun Katarat, our Group CFO, to provide a market outlook for the investor ค่ะ
ครับ thank you ครับคุณอัจฉริยา I will be talking on the outlook of the key core business, shipping and offshore, which contribute more than 80% of the revenue. Looking back in year 2024, dye bulk boom. You see that the BSI soared to 1,241 points, up from 1,022 points from last year. So thanks for the strong demand and new shipping route avoiding the Red Sea and Panama Canal. And Supermax rate hit a record of $14,441 a day in April. And then annual rate is about $13,601 $. And then the demand trends in year 2025 outlook 9% growth in terms of ton-mile and led by minor bulk 3% increase. A key segment for Supermax vessel, which is our THORESEN, are there. Due to continued global macroeconomics improvement. Grains increased 1.5%. Steadily US and Ukraine export and a rebound in Brazilian shipments. China slowdown impact iron ore dumping demand 0.4%. Coal trade minus 2% drop in thermal coal trade as European demand falls and Chinese import eased. Year 2026 flat growth but stable trends. Next, please. In terms of supply, constant ahead. New ship order still very low at 11% due to strictly environmental laws, EEXI and C2, requiring 9% carbon cuts by 2025 and 11% by 2026. Fleet growth showing 3% in both year 2025 and 2026. This is based on Clarkson research. For the demand versus supply for the key takeaway. Year 2024 demand 5% growth in terms of ton-mile. Fleet growth 3%. So demand wins. And then year 2025, slower demand growth 0.9% versus fleet expansion 3%. Year 2026, flat demand, but fleet growth is about 3%. Supply is pressure. But anyway, if we are looking at the gap between minor bulk, which is our segmentation, the trade growth and Supermax growth when we compare in terms of the gap, in year 2023 is about 2.1%. So the forecasted of year 2025 and year 2026 is quite in line with year 2023 in terms of the difference. So if we analyze in year 2023, right, the TCA rate is about 10,000, while TTA earns is about 13,000, which is 27% outperform the market. Next slide, please. So shipping segment, which is our core EBITDA. And then when we analyze this, I would like to highlight that our competitive edge. We are operating both, having both our own ship and we charter in the vessel. So this is to optimize our profit in terms of better risk management and in terms of to provide the wide length of service in terms of both time charter and voyage charter to the wide range of customer. We have in-house experience for both onshore and offshore. If we compare with it, the industry, many shipping dry bulk company, they use an outsource service for the ship management, or they put their vessel into the pool to operate in terms of charter out the vessel. So we have a long-term experience for both onshore and offshore, resulting that we are a very low-cost shipping company. And then in the year 2024, that we effectively manage the OPEX cost 70% lower from the market. And then due to the in-house experience, we are very good in terms of managing the time charter equivalent days. And in year 2024, we are outperform the market 12%. And then another thing that if we are looking back in many years back, THORESEN shipping put in the year 2023 that we were the third rank of performance based on the global survey of about 25 shipping company in the stock listed globally. And then we are the only one company can maintain the top 5 for the 6th consecutive year. So really we are very proud that our people almost 100% that the people are Thai managing this international company. For offshore business, still strong potential. EIA projects that crude oil price is about 75 barrel in the year 2025, while the lifting cost is still in the range of 10 to 45 barrel. So the revenue is still greater more than the lifting cost. Is still very positive. Global capex to rise 11% in year 2025. And then Africa remains key the market for mermaid in terms of expansion. Thailand stay crucial for decommissioning. Offshore order still very big. Total order book on hand is $787 million, while the amount of $449 to deliver the service in year 2025 and $310 million in year 2026. Of course, that we are still filling our order book every day. We are pursuing the business. Sub-CI RM order book 381 billion. The key Middle East contract. Cable line installation 142 million order book, which Middle East is still driven. TNI and decommissioning 265 million. There are still a huge potential in Thailand and North Sea. In Thailand itself, that over 400 platforms pending for removal. Sustainability commitment, driving change. We grant an opportunity to the shareholder to propose agenda and director candidate for the AGM. And then we ranked AA in set ESG rating and excellent in corporate governance for 6 years. This is the second 2 consecutive year that we got CAC membership certification. Sustainability in action, empowering youth. Pizza Hut signed the MOU with vocational school to promote job and skill growth. We target a carbon cutting 5%. We have achieved 5% carbon dioxide reduction in year 2023, and then we target 2% in the year 2025, which in line with the IMO regulation for the shipping business. Cyber security push. We are emphasize on the PDPA compliant training for the employees. So TTA market leaders are performing rewards and then strategic vision for the future.
Thank you, Seth, for giving an opportunity to see investor, and thank you, investor, for joining us today, and thank you of the management who give us the information today. We hope to see you again next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
This session has come to the end. Thank you very much, investor and corporate, for joining the conference. If you do need further detail, please feel free to drop us an email. ขอบคุณครับ